Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
In
How
Soviet
is
Russia, live
audio?
stream watches you.
No.
In
I mean-
current day America.
The live stream also
That's what
watches you.
That's what I said, isn't it? That's what I said. Audio has happened. Huzzay, huzzah,
I
huzzee,
like
huzzo.
audio. I think it's
Well,
fun.
hello, audience. I am your friendly neighborhood dungeon biologist, bringing you another heaping helping of Trash Heroes. It's the D&D stream where we recount the epic adventures of a wildly improbable collection of horrible creatures known as the Trash Heroes. As always, our players are this wondrous collection of artists upon the internet that do their art upon the internet and in other places.
Internet
You should
weirdos.
check out their arts. You should check all the arts out. If you go into
Links.
the upper right-hand side of your screen, you will see various information about social medias and Patreons and websites. And we highly encourage you to check all that stuff out. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, it's in the description below. Without further ado, let's meet our characters. Absent this week is the keeper of the trash heap, Fetid Quaggle. But everybody else is here. That's it. No, wait. Next up, we have the larger-than-life pit fighting superstar, Oogna.
It's me, Oogna. I got rune armor now.
Oh, your sound cut in and out there a bunch
Oh,
for me. Is
that's
that just
weird.
me?
No, I heard that too.
Mhm.
Your
I said-
microphone might have.
Hey, it's Oogna. I have rune armor now.
Pretty
It's
cool.
true.
Pretty cool.
There we go.
Check your source and make sure it's got
Yeah,
the right microphone.
that's weird. Could just be
Because that could
Betty.
have been your headset being weird. Bluetooth is crappy that way.
It is.
Next up, trickster, cleric, rogue, baker, and all-around party animal. It's Tromlin, Darioles.
Up sluts.
And then there's the wild magic streaming sensation, Morgan the Satyr.
Like, subscribe, and give me all your money.
And finally, our sweet old grandpa, who's also accidentally an ancient warlock, Copernicus Sunshine.
Horrifying catchphrase
These are the voyages
of our lives.
of the star of our lives. Yes, that's exactly how that goes.
Of our trashy heroes.
Of our hero crashers, trashers.
These
Sure.
are the days of our HPs.
Good.
We did it. So after last time, after the battle with the Shadow Kraken, the Trashers decided to bring all their allies together for a council of war at the Sunshine Manor. And as they made plans, the group helped Fetid and the Quaggles round up and eradicate the remaining tiny black puddings that were plaguing the sewers of Morwindle, and helped clean up the docks that were decimated after the battle. Then Perny and Tromlin spent some family time with Perny's daughter Lucretia, reviewing the various prophecies that they had learned of, wherein Perny apologized for being a deadbeat dad.
Hey,
But
An
emphasis on the
undead
dad.
beat dad and undead beat dad. Thank you.
Undead beat dad. Excellent. We need a t-shirt.
Yeah, Perny simultaneously wearing the world's proudest grandpa and undead beat dad shirts.
Sorry, I had to run away because Pico had an entire ink cartridge between his beak and he was flying away.
Oh,
I was like, oh no! Don't bite that, don't bite that!
Yep, just splurt,
Just
drawing
powerful.
ink everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you get for having birds.
That's what I get.
Then, after a long rest, the party spent the next couple of days contacting various potential guests. They used the teleportation circle to contact Sal Shattersmith and the Dwarves of Rockspire, and Dangalf the Wizard at the Wizard's Vale. Lucretia then used her crystal ball to contact Albania Sunshine, and the party got some updates on what's going on in the Westlands, as well as her promise to attend and bring a representative from Dummerdale. Meanwhile, in the next room, left alone with the Dwarven runebooks, Oogna made a huge effort of will and managed to roll a successful research action.
This should not have been possible.
And,
everyone has to say, right?
And she learned that the rune Fetid had discovered could turn her breastplate into rune armor,
Woo.
which Copernicus later helped her do. Tromlin also did some surreptitious research regarding his secret quest from the Raven Queen to obtain the clue, some kind of strange egg-shaped scrying stone. And he also learned that Lord Lord Cash, the Marin sorcerer, is likely, in fact, the ancient wizard Cache, who the Raven Queen warned him about, and wants him to steal the clue back from. Perny and Lucretia then worked on ascending for the Maestro when Dangalf the Wizard suddenly appeared out of nowhere. And after a brief conversation, Perny determined that the wizards can help assemble the council using various teleportation circles in the cities of Dwimmerdell, Karsh, and Ravenfall. But he needs to see what he can learn about their locations, and that is where we left things. So you were awaiting Dangalf's return and have not yet done sendings to your other
There.
potential guests.
There's Dwimmerdell.
But we have a
Map.
Ein map as I switch back over to look at said map.
Dwimmerdell, Ravenfall.
So,
Morwindle's where we are
know
now.
There are circles at all three of those point Karsh, Dwimmerdell, and Ravenfall, as well as the one you already know about in the Iron Peak Mountains at
Rockspire.
Rockspire, and the one at Morwindle that you have, but it's portable and you can take it wherever. So that is the current situation. Dangalf is going to return and hopefully be able to tell you how to get to those different teleportation circles. But in the meantime, Lucretia is prepared to cast another sending and is awaiting Copernicus to let her know what it is intended to say.
Well, team, we were okay. And so it has to be someone that she has met, right?
Yes, but we determined that the Maestro she can. So we've determined that there's no way for her to contact El Gato because she has never met him or heard of him really.
Yeah.
But she has a blood connection to the Maestro, and so she can, and she's heard of him,
Yeah.
so she can cast ascending to him.
Okay. And we can't do Sir Godfrey. We cannot do Morgan's cult with her with
You were
Lucretia.
Yeah, you were discussing the possibility of contacting Sir Godfrey through Captain Darius, because she has met Captain Darius,
Oh, that's
and
true.
so she could do ascending to him. And the last you saw Godfrey when he was fleeing Ravenfall was with Captain Darius in the ship.
Right. Okay.
Can I throw her a few signals to see if she knows any cult members?
Trying to see if she recognizes the cult signs.
Yeah.
You do so, and she does not seem to react beyond sort of normal. What are you doing?
Yeah. Okay.
She raises an eyebrow.
It's not. Yeah, she raises an eyebrow. That seems to be what she does whenever you do anything. But yeah, it's clear to you that she does not recognize the cult language that you are throwing her way. Now, I will say that you do have some limited ability to contact some of these people, because Tromlin, when praying for spells, can ask for ascending spell, but he only has a limited number because it's a third level spell. He can only cast, I think, just two of them.
We've got what, 1 day left before people gather, or 2 days?
Correct.
Okay.
So you could get a couple of sendings to
day.
specific people that Tromlin knows, if he basically prepares all of his third level spells to be sendings for that day.
I think for today he did prepare 2 that we haven't used yet.
That, I believe, was the plan.
Okay.
Tromlin can confirm.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well,
And I'll also remind you that Tromlin is currently worshiping Kutka, the Raven God of the North.
Right.
Because it just so happened that that's what he randomly ended up picking.
Or was picked for him, maybe?
You know.
What do I know?
Happens.
I'm just the DM.
Well, we can do one with Lucretia, which would probably be either the Maestro and then Captain Darius, or we could do one with the Tromlin sending. I remember on our list we had the Chilwyn tribe, Tromlin's Thieves Guild contacts, the statue artificer Guzman, and Morgan's social club.
You'll definitely
And
have to.
Dr. Veldo, Sir Godfrey.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to prioritize which ones you want Tromlin to do because he's only going to have a few spells that he can cast.
Yeah. And
But
Morgan,
also,
do you have your... Sorry.
I should point out that from your conversation with Dangalf, you have limited means to get people to come to you.
Oh, that's
so,
true.
for example, Dangalf was going to go look into where exactly the sending circles in Ravenfall are and whether they can be accessed. If they can be, you could theoretically get a group of people all to the same sending circle. So, for example, if you wanted Guzman and Tromlin's Thieves Guild contact and Lucretia Direlust, if you can make contact, and you're
Lady
also
Pudenza.
contacting the Chillwinds. Yeah.
Wasn't there a sending circle in Santo Bianco that we used to jump across to Dwimmerdell?
I think that weird, what's the word? Not, like, it was like a secret circle.
Yeah,
that
it was like
ran
a,
it. Like
not quite a cult, but not a cult.
It was
syndicate. A syndicate.
Yeah.
Like, almost.
Yes. It was a mage's sort of mage teamsters were running
Right.
a warehouse.
Yeah, don't piss them
Don't
off.
piss off the magic teamsters.
No.
Yeah.
We all know what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. It was a disintegrate spell. That's why no one found anything.
Alrighty. Well, Morgan, do you have your own way of contacting your social club?
We don't. Using.
Hey, haven't I met some of her social club? Couldn't I send to them?
You have met Lady Pudenza Darlust. So,
Yeah,
but this is my point is that you're going to have to narrow your list down.
Yeah.
Copernicus.
Okay.
So who are the highest priority people that you want to talk to in the Ravenfall area? You know that Sir Godfrey is probably not there anymore. He left the city with Captain Darius and has probably gone back on the road doing his.
But that's one that Lucretia can contact because she can contact Darius.
Yeah, it's a freebie from Lucretia. So here's the list of Tromlin onlys, of which we have to pick 4. So Statue Artificer Guzman, Chillwind Tribe, Thieves Guild of Ravenfall, the Social Club if Morgan, if you don't have a direct line, Don Garveldo El Gato, and Sir Godfrey. So that's 6. So we got to cut 2 from that list.
So you know that you may be able to make contact with Godfrey through Darius.
Okay.
Right. At the very least, Darius should know where Godfrey was going next.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who gave him a ride there.
I also don't think we need the statue Guzman guy.
Okay.
His limited information will probably be pretty limited.
Okay.
He also seemed to be very hermity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just might not show up.
You would also know that, like, the whole point of Morgan's cult in game mechanic terms is like contacting, like their contacts, like they're a way to.
I gotten a text back at
they're
all.
a group.
Not even a red. I'm not left on red.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that texting, the device that you have is a sending stone, and there is only one other sending stone connected to it, and it's the one that Copernicus has. Right?
No, Lady Pudenza had one.
Copernicus's pocket just keeps buzzing and dinging.
This was the sending stones that were specifically made for you by Sir Godfrey. And I thought it was just a way for you to communicate with Copernicus without having to sign his book.
We gotten multiples, and I gave one to Lady Pudenza. And then we lost contact. She stopped answering when there was an attack on the city.
I definitely remember you guys exchanging
texts.
texts.
On the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've just been on the run since.
In that case, I'm going to say that you get a response back while you're discussing all of this. You get a just a thumbs up on one of your previous.
Oh my god!
You know,
from like months ago.
You texted something like you good. You texted something like "you good" and it's a thumbs up.
Oh god.
Bernie is like text illiterate, and even he knows that that's like ooh.
Yeah. It's rugged.
Only to people
Um,
under a certain age, and Morgan is no longer under that age.
um. God. I'll just put a
Is
little
new
house and
notification
hanging.
stuff all about?
I'm gonna send her house and hanging. You okay, bud?
She'll just go to straight up actual text, since the sending stone doesn't actually do emojis. And she will say, things could be better, but have evaded the soldiers.
I'm gonna ask her if she's holed up with and I'll pick her least favorite ex. Just to make sure, she's not like under duress or
All right.
anything
She'll
since it's been so
she'll
long.
make like she'll puke face emojis.
I'll be like, thank God. Thank God. Um I don't know, what do we want to say? I'm
Well, yeah, I
so
mean,
tired.
ask the rest of these people. What do you need? What are you actually trying to make contact about?
I can get a hold of Lady Pidenza. She's finally answered my fucking text. My runes. She's been answering my runes.
Oh, that's
Um
good, because it means she's alive, right?
yeah.
Things were a little
I
dicey
think
when we left Ravenfall.
she's okay. I asked her about somebody I know she fucking hates and she responded reasonably. So, um yeah, I don't know how stable her situation is, but who would we be asking about? I guess I can ask where she is. Um, I'll put in
I mean, ask her
where
if
you
she
hold up
knows where the
with
sending circle is, because then she can come here.
I'm gonna text her where you hold up, and then I'll put like a text emoji of a hole, a glory hole, and then
Little eggplants and water
yeah.
droplets. Um, she will she'll text you back like a name that you
Mm,
recognize. Like, yeah, I don't know what it would be, but um, the whole thing where your cult has a various safe houses
yeah.
around the major cities.
Yeah.
She mentions a name. It is one of the locations you know of in Ravenfall.
Okay. Um.
Also, if with your mental map, since you know Ravenfall well compared to the rest of the party,
Mhm.
you would in fact recognize the part of the city that's in as being, when you guys left the place, that would be a part of the city that was like uh, less
Cratered.
heavily infiltrated by the soldiers of House Langarian.
Mhm. Um. I think we need to activate the rune tree about big world shit. Um. Practical magic reference. Um. And I'm just wondering if you still have those connections or could reach out.
What are you asking her? Connections to who?
Uh, Basically, just putting it out an SOS to cult members in regards to like getting this war council together and gathering forces. I'm making a
So are
phone
you
tree
good?
joke about school
I'm gonna
moms.
Yeah,
hope
are you
that
going to let her know kind of what you're trying to do with this war council?
Um, I'm not telling her about it yet. I'm just asking her if she has like ways of reaching out should
She'll
we
say,
attack us.
yeah, she'll say that uh, it's pretty difficult right now, but uh, she can she can probably reach the majority of the cult members in the city. Um, but she'll sort of warn you that there isn't a lot that they can do right now openly with the with the way that the guards are. She'll probably give you some updates and just and let you know that um, the city is kind of under martial law. Like there's the soldiers have kind of cracked down on trade.
Not
Merchants are no
trade.
longer,
Anything
you know,
but trade.
like nothing is moving along the Great Road. Everything is basically
They're
closed
Langarians and their
down.
tariffs.
They don't want, yeah, exactly. They've
No,
put trade
you're
tariffs
not
on the
getting my double
elves.
entendre. My double entendre about trade. Free
Nope.
trade.
Yeah.
In any case, yeah, the city is largely um, like locked down. The soldiers patrol the streets. Nothing comes in or out of the city.
Pico, no.
They have like an actual barricade of ships in the harbor. And although there has been talk of troops coming up from Karsh to try and restore some order, only a handful of soldiers have come to the city, and they have been specifically working with the Lungarians. Like there seems to be a recognition of uh, official leadership of the Baron. Like there's no sort of the Baron has usurped the rightful ruler, Nightshade. What do we do about it? That doesn't seem to have manifested. She has no idea because of the communication lines being cut. She has no idea what's going on in the other great cities, like whether in Karsh are people upset about Baron Lingarian taking over, or are they not? Nobody knows. There's just not information coming and going from the city. They do know that there has been continued battling in the wastes between the barbarian tribes, although the ice barbarians have yet to renew any attacks on the city. So they seem to be at least somewhat hard pressed. They don't seem to be, in dominance to the degree they were when they were actually assaulting the city. But there's a lot of suspicion about that. Some think that it's because the Baron is in league with them, and so they're not attacking the city because he's their buddy and he's in charge now. Others think that maybe he's cut a deal with them and has sent them money or tribute or something that's persuading them not to attack. No one's really sure. The Raven cult are moving openly again in the city, but there seems to be less going on in the sewers, which tells you that the Quaggle um, rebellion that you guys were part of seems to have held. But that doesn't make too much, or that isn't too surprising because that's not high priority, right? Like if they need to keep the city secure, they're not going to worry too much about what the little sewer folk are doing.
I think y'all need to team up with the Undercity folk. I think that is one of the best ways. I don't know how we can facilitate that. Might be something you have to figure out yourself. We do have ties to this icon, Fetid, who you briefly met. And maybe, I don't know, we could utilize his connection as a way to be able to strengthen our own spaces in the city.
So I guess a serious question here might be what, for Copernicus, what are you trying to achieve using the cult? Because the cult that you'll recall are basically like swingers, right? They're not really a political entity. They're not really a military entity.
It's just a
They're
free love movement, obviously.
yeah, that like keep their shit secret because they don't want to be, you know,
We don't want
persecuted.
overhead. The
Yep.
permits we would have to get if we did this legally.
So they're a good
Astronomical.
way to like
Astronomical.
send and receive information, and obviously the cult has been used by Morgan for like, hey, I need a place to crash. I need like something when I go to a different city. But in terms of having any kind of, you know, political sway or any kind of um, I don't know, resources that you can tap into, I'm not sure
I
I
mean,
think
what that would be.
definitely know a bunch of people.
Yep.
Some pretty
I
powerful people, but like,
yeah, I figured that maybe they had some intimate connections with you know, people from a various bunch of different stations, and you know, they had their fingers in a lot of pies, in that sense,
and
and
tubes
Okay.
sometimes.
yeah,
So
yeah,
so that is true, but because of what the current situation in Ravenfall, they're cut off from like cultists elsewhere. Um,
right,
so what she could do is if you happen to be going to Karsh, for example, the biggest city in the north, she could say, you should go to this location and look up this person as like a way for you to make connections with the cult there.
Hmm.
Uh,
right,
but but that isn't really, again, that's not the sort of thing that assists your
Yeah.
war planning, right? Your war council. That's the sort of thing where if you wanted to like have some political influence over what's going on in Karsh, it might be a way to do that. So it might be a thing to enact once you have your council of war, but it's not so much people you want to be involved in the planning.
yeah. Okay, well then, if nothing else, I think maybe asking them to be on, especially if they have safe houses in the city that they'd be willing to let us use to help, like with transporting people. I do think that having them on deck for that could be good, and if they have insider knowledge of the city and could help us locate the teleportation
That's
circles,
what I
that would be
was more thinking is knowing
Yeah.
these back routes, different places, pun intended.
yeah,
But also,
So,
yeah, I think
so yeah.
for the
Let
people that
me
are in the
see
city
what she
now,
knows.
for people in the city now, I feel like the undercity folk and the folks from my community could team up to at least have better mobility
Yep.
and establish like better travel routes for
So what you
themselves.
could do with your war council is make some decisions about what you want to see happen in Ravenfall in terms of like trying to get people free from the martial law,
yeah.
and try and connect those people. So I'm rolling here for her Arcana to see what she would know about things like magical teleportation schemes and so forth. Um, and she will say that she is pretty certain that there is still smuggling going on um, through the Thieves Guild, and she thinks that's probably being done with magic because there's certainly no ships coming in and there's certainly no caravans on the road. Um, so if they're still bringing goods into the city, you know, and the Quaggles are like defending the underways, so there's no sort of like tunnels into the city anymore that aren't being guarded. Um, so if that's the case, there must be some access to magical teleportation with the Thieves Guild in Ravenfall. And while she does know some cult members who are associated with the Thieves Guild, she wouldn't be sure who you could and could not trust because the guild was infiltrated by the Raven cult.
If that wasn't the case,
And
then maybe the Thieves Guild would be our next call, but I don't know that we can trust them.
but you do have a contact in Ravenfall Thieves Guild who was not happy about the Raven cult.
Yeah, that's true.
And now I got to go back and try and remember
Could
his name.
So that's
could
not Cyril Sneer, right? No, that's the
No,
bad guy.
Cyril Sneer is the Raven
Our
cult
enemy.
member who has taken over
Yeah.
the Thieves
could
Guild in Ravenfall.
could Pidenza get
Um,
access to that person possibly?
Yeah, we could put them in
if
touch
you
with
could
each
tell
other.
her who it was,
Trit
which you
Resnoir
can't.
and Brenda
Oh
Erie.
my god!
No,
There's
Right.
no way that they're not already pals.
Those
There's
those
no
are
fucking way.
no, those are
They
the
share
Quaggles.
leather pants. They've got
Those are
to.
the goth Quaggles from
Yes.
Ravenfall.
There's no way they don't overlap with our community.
Yeah,
They're
they're
Wasn't
goblins.
Wasn't it Kermit?
they're goblin toes.
Yep,
The-
they
So
were a
they're
pair of goblins
definitely
named Trit Resnoir and Brenda Yuri.
Good.
ridiculous.
And I'm just trying to find now.
There was the assassin that was sent after us, who was like Kermit.
Yep.
Kermit the
Yeah,
Frog.
I think Kermit murder or something.
Yes.
Yep. He was very
Murder. He didn't like
very spanked.
Cyril Sneer. And we let him live, so.
No. You're thinking of someone else.
Oh, okay.
He was sent to kill Tromlin specifically.
And that was rude.
And it was rude, and also it did not end well for him.
No, it did not.
It rarely does. Especially not after Tromlin's time in the Underdark.
Imagine coming for the trash heroes. Not that way, you fucking sick freaks.
You said it.
Mm-mm. I said it with a OM.
Well, okay then.
Look at her little feet. That's a little foot.
Little worms. Little worm branches.
Here we go.
He's being a butt because he wants more treats, but he is cut off. He's done enough.
Cyril Sneer. I did in fact use that name. You talk amongst yourselves. I'm just trying to find the name of that guy that
I'm setting up my
Tromlin
smudge
talked
bowl
to.
for
Other
a
than-
fabulous picture.
Nice. Other than like contacting more of our allies, do we have a plan for the war council? We're just gonna fill everyone in on what's up and then hope they can help
I
us.
think
Imagine
fill everyone.
having reason.
I think that like filling everyone in, but also getting them to fill us in on what they've been dealing with individually. Because I feel like there's a lot of dots that everyone has like a few pieces of the dots that if we connect them, there's going to be a bigger pattern.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because like we know that there's 4 different calamities coming. We don't know what's going on in the desert. We know the Necrogog's out in the west, and he's the one with the like purple fungus and undead centaurs, and
Yeah.
potentially what's going on with Rumordell.
Yeah.
So Albania might know that, and then I think the whole Graculus is the calamity of the north. Graculus and
So-
the barbarians of Nihil.
This is part of what Copernicus wanted to do some research on
Yeah.
in this game, which we'll be moving on to shortly here.
Nice.
So you know that Graculus was doing some kind of ritual in the north, and he was looking for power supplies to do it, and he was tapping into the great frostworm of the north, and now clearly he has kidnapped Nightshade with something similar in mind. You know that the from your recent chat with Albania Sunshine, you know that the Necrogog is gathering himself some armies of undead centaurs, having been somewhat thwarted in his purple fungus plague in the west. You suspect that the sorcerer Cache is, or Lord Cash, as they're calling him, is in some way involved in the east here, but you don't know how. You just had a vision, or Morgan had a vision about him raising dust storms in the desert. And then all you know about the south is that one dream about Oogna's mother, and some explosions of erupting flame.
She might have set everything on fire. We don't know.
You don't know anything specific. You do know about the rumor of war in Elvenholm. The elves were dealing with some kind of attacks, and that also is in the south. In fact, I recently posted a Patreon post about the Southlands of Karsh, or of Throm, specifically the world of Throm, and outlined a bunch of those places. So there is some interesting info there if anybody in the audience would like to check out the Patreon.
We have a map.
So if I pledge our Patreon, can I spoil myself for the upcoming storylines?
Not really, but you can certainly like look at cool information. I actually use it like 'cause I keep anything I'm like, oh, I forgot what that was. I can just pull it up on the Patreon. So like when I was reviewing the houses of the dwarves, I was like, what did I put in Patreon? There it is.
Who's what?
It's also publicly available after a certain number of weeks. Like I post
Oh,
stuff
nice.
and then I just let it. So you can check out stuff that's on there.
So we got Elven Home.
So, oh, you pulled the map up. Yeah, so you can see the Elven Home is far in the south. I found the name. It's Eurus Gale. He was an elemental-blooded thief. Eurus Gale is the thief that Tromlin met with, who told him about Cyril Sneer's takeover and gave him the information about where those statues were, which is how you guys were able to get in there and destroy the first ones. So if you were to give that name to Lady Pudenza and say, can you connect with this guy? She probably could do that.
Let's get these.
And what would the goal be?
Yeah. Are we just fucking him and stealing his stuff, or
Who him?
the person you want Lady Pudenza to connect with?
You're a scale?
No, this was
No.
Eurus
Yeah.
Gale was the guy who the Thieves Guild member who is against the Raven Cult. He's the one
Yeah.
who gave
Okay.
Tromlin the information.
We're like, you
Okay,
need to
so we're
ally
not-
up
Destroy
and then
statues.
We're
screw
not
over.
mugging him. We're
No.
not mugging and
No.
fucking him. Okay.
We're putting them together,
God,
and then they
I
can
almost
screw
said
over
Pudenza
Cyril
Pudenza
Sneer.
suspects that the Thieves Guild has access to at least some part of the Thieves Guild has access to a teleportation circle.
Right. So they can
And that
maybe
would
get
be-
over here
That
and
would
meet
be
with
one
us.
that isn't in the Citadel.
Yeah. Well,
It also would mean that we could get back to check in on Nightshade if we need to. Like,
Yeah.
real fast. So,
yeah. So
It
Tromlin,
would
if you
also
want to
theoretically
try and
allow
cut-
you to have the Chillwin's tribe represented.
come join
at
us,
your-
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Thieves Guild could send them a message, too.
Well,
What did
yeah,
you want to
Tromlin,
ask me?
Yeah, so if you want to try and get in touch with Eurus and see if he knows any way to access the teleportation circles, I think that would be a good first step. And then maybe if you're getting in touch with Lady Chillwind, probably
Okay.
Ooh, with
Yeah,
the
who's also
Grand
somebody
Dame.
you've met.
Granddam. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Tromlin calling Eurus through
Through ascending.
through ascending. Pudenza meeting up with him to help with some underground stuff. And my mom getting my mom on the phone, I guess.
I think so.
My mom in the background just went, "Oh."
That would be Grand Dame Oglaf Frostmaid.
Okay.
Yes, indeed, we named her after the comic
I was wondering.
because it was funny.
Of course we did.
I mean, we have free will. Why wouldn't we use it?
It's true. Okay, so what do you want said? Like Tromlin can do ascending to the Grand Dame, but it's 20 words. Now that said, if you want to send something longer, you have the sending stone that you can send as much information as you want to Lady Pudenza.
Mhm.
So if you wanted her to try and get like a letter to the Grand Dame, you could
to get out of
give
the
something
city,
much
though.
more considerable. Well, remember, you guys left the Quaggles in complete control of the sewers,
Hmm.
including the tunnels in and out of the city, which you guys used. So if you want to send messages, you could probably do that. You left things in a decent
Get like a
state.
Quaggle runner to take a note.
Yeah.
Yeah. Morgan,
Another
do you
option.
want to handle the phrasing for sending the message to your mom, or do you think it would be better coming from Tromlin, or?
I think definitely an intro outro from me is fine
Oh, hey,
and good.
I have an idea. I have an idea for you guys that simplifies this because I have to
Hmm.
keep Jeff written out. So Fetid right now, I had just said was like still hanging out with the Quaggles in the
Hmm.
city. Um, so one thing that you could do is Dan Galf, when he comes back, uh, will inform you of, he's gone to go get all the information about teleportation circles that he can get from the Wizard's Veil. So he will tell you that there is indeed a teleportation circle in the Citadel, but obviously that's in the Citadel, so it's maybe not super secure.
Hmm.
Um, but someone very small and sneaky could go through that teleportation circle and sneak their way off into the city and carry messages to whoever you want.
Someone with the invisibility spell on them.
That'd be even better.
I can help with that.
You could take someone extremely small and sneaky and cast invisibility on them.
Hmm.
Someone who I have to write out for this game anyway.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because I
All right,
also worry
Tromlin. It
about
sounds like. Oh wait.
also I would worry about any correspondence that we send that has a lot of information about us or our movements with just a random person, even if they're very capable. The risk on their life as well as like everything that's going on getting caught in the wrong hands, right? So yeah, I think our best boy could definitely
Our
handle
best
this.
boy.
Our best boy
So
and his
just,
best boy?
Our best boy and
well,
his
I
best
don't think
boy.
he would take.
Ollie.
I don't think he would take Ollie to sneak around the city
Yeah.
surreptitiously for fear of people noticing the giant hellhound. Uh, but there are like we never said anything about this, but there's got to be like family pets at the Sunshine uh, estate,
Some
Yeah.
really weird
and
ones,
I can
yeah.
see Ollie like frolicking with some kind of weird, I don't know,
Zombie dog.
yeah, undead
Resident Evil
dog.
style zombie dog.
Yes.
Yep, sounds good. Um, okay, so for the sake of simplification, then, and please let me know if I've got the plan correct. You want to send Fetid with an invisibility spell on him through the teleportation circle that Dan Gelf has given you, which is the one in the main citadel of Ravenfall, which Fetid has now snuck through a bunch and knows his way around. But so he can quickly get down into the sewers to his waggle buddies, Trit and Brenda. Um, and there you want him to make contact with Lady Pudenza and also with Eurus Gale, who Tromlin is going to reach out to with Ascending to let him know that this is happening or coming and make the introduction so that when Fetid shows up, he's expected. And then get a message from the Quaggles outside the city to your mom, the Grand Dame, which Fetid can do very easily, actually, it occurs to me, because he has Animal Messenger as a spell.
Mm.
That
Um,
seems very
so,
convenient.
yeah, and so then the intention is hopefully to bring someone from the Chillwinds to come and participate in your war council.
Yeah.
Am I right?
And I think
Um,
also to just get them connected with the Quaggles and
with each
the
other,
social
with
group.
the
Yeah, so now
yeah,
they've gone away in and out of the city if they need it. Yeah.
yeah, and just start laying the groundwork for
What's
uh,
wrong, Morgan? You don't want your mom knowing your sex friends?
No,
What?
I just considered who might be the fucking person sent.
Oh
Oh.
no.
Oh, right.
Oh no.
Right.
Ooh.
We can specify that it is the Grand Dame herself who's requested, or if you.
I can't make that position or that decision or request it. Really, it has to be who they think is best.
Okay.
So we can just fucking hope.
So
I
Two
reach
goals.
over and I jangle Tromlin's various necklaces
Praying
in a
for
little
luck.
prayer
Okay.
to like
I didn't know where that sentence was
just
going.
just reach over to like all of his dangling necklaces and just like
Oh, all the holy
please,
symbols.
somebody please
Yeah.
please make it not my ex, please.
Wait, I have necklaces?
Your
Oh, your
Your
D30.
holy
holy
symbols.
symbols.
your D30.
Oh, my holy symbols, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Just
not, as
jangle
I
the
thought,
holy
your testicles.
symbols. Somebody, come on.
I'm
make it
fondling
not
your
my ex.
danglies. Listen.
Jeez.
I imagine Tromlin keeps his holy symbols near his testicles.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on a
Just like
keychain.
other,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
On the
those
belt.
old cartoon jailer keys.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was
Just right over the sporin.
I was picturing a carabiner in a very lesbian fashion.
Yeah, that
So
too.
you can just like unhook it really easily. Just
Yeah.
like a
Mhm.
D&D version of a carabiner.
Good.
There's also like a little Hello Kitty keychain on there.
So I've got this right. Then there's basically two goals here. One is to get a message to the Chillwinds, to get someone to your war council, and the second is to connect the various allies you have in Ravenfall with one another, so that you have the Quaggles connected to the Chillwinds and the cult of blood sugar sex magic, and those members of the Thieves Guild who are not compromised by the Raven cult.
Also, once we know where the teleportation circle is, if we need to rush back and fight our way into the Citadel, we can.
Well, and potentially, like, Dan Gelf will tell you, here is the symbols to go to the Citadel of Ravenfall. But then also, if Pudenza is right, and there is a teleportation circle being used by the guild for smuggling, you might be able to get access to that one, which would be much more surreptitious.
Right.
Okay.
Okay,
When we
so
connect and
I will take that as read. I won't make you like play out what's the 20 words that you're going to say to Eurus Gale and what are you going to write specifically in the message to the Grand Dam. I think it's I can take those goals and go, right, so that's what you're doing. What I will do though is I'll maybe ask for Tromlin to give me a persuasion check for how well he is able to convince someone in 20 words that
With
this is in his best interests.
with a guidance, of course.
Sure.
So I'm
He's real
guessing
good
I
at
shouldn't start my thing off with "Hey sluts."
Yeah, probably not.
That's stupid.
It's also to one person, so hey slut. Also, you lose 2 words that way, so.
True.
Yeah, but
very
they're
business
important.
like just slut, comma. More direct
Dearest-
to the point.
Dearest slut.
Sluts, stop.
Yeah.
This is Tromlin, stop.
Yeah.
Beep, beep,
One
beep, beep,
second,
beep,
my
beep.
acrobat just crashed on me.
I imagine Morgan's letters are all signed with a little kiss. Just a little
Aw.
lipstick kiss mark.
Somehow all of Morgan's like sendings have like a little heart over the eye.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, how did she? That's not in. That's not
Is
an
that a custom
option.
font?
Like,
Is that
Nice.
how did she install the font on my sending stone?
why are these runes
do that?
glowing purple? Don't they? Aren't they supposed to glow blue? Like, what's?
Yeah.
It's
Where's
part of
plugin?
the sex cult thing.
Yeah.
She's when she talks, when she sends it into your book, it comes up with the emojis that you don't even have access to. Like, how?
You don't want to download that sticker pack.
Yeah, yeah.
23.
Dubious means. By dubious means, of course.
Mhm.
23.
23 is good.
Nice.
It occurs to me I should probably start my poll pretty soon here. So I'm going to ask the
Red, I would ask you to stop giving
players.
ideas. That's terrifying.
I would like my players
I'm
to
out.
step
Delete the
away
chat.
from the chat
I'm out of the
Okay.
chat.
or just close the window or whatever. Man,
I was just being
we've
afraid of
been playing this
rouses.
game for a while. Here we go.
Wouldn't
Because
Rouses just be like a Quaggle?
this is actually
They're not very small, but I guess
poll I was going
size
to do
doesn't
last
matter
time.
for undercity community members.
Just give me a sec because I actually have to type all the things in.
I would like to compliment Peter's stash game on point today.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Jasmine got me some beard wax for the mustache because I have a weird little bald spot here, and also the way it grows, it looks like she calls it my corgi butt. It's like a corgi butt. Don't
Excellent.
all laugh immediately in recognition that she's right. How dare you all?
I didn't laugh. I had food in my mouth though.
Good. Yeah.
I'll remind the audience that the poll will run for 10 minutes and that you can vote once for free, and additional votes just cost channel points. So you can vote as many times as you like. I'm very keen to see what ends up winning the poll. If you can't see the poll, you can always just refresh the chat. Sometimes it takes that to get up there.
You're getting my
I,
poll up.
uh,
Sometimes takes a bit of time too. I've definitely used that excuse. No, you just have to refresh the chat. It's not me.
Yeah.
It's not me, it's the chat.
It's Twitch's fault.
I've never had this problem before.
I want to show off my sheep.
Aw,
My friend
Is that-
got me.
That's a Valet
They're-
Black Nose. They're like the cutest sheeps on the planet.
cute.
This-
Yay.
The little zipper is a clipper,
Oh,
so you can.
oh, you shear.
Oh, that's cute.
You
You gotta peel your sheep. Aw,
Okay.
Very sweet.
Nice.
that's very cute.
Nice sheep.
I didn't even realize that
That sounds like a
Nice
dirty thing.
sheep.
Hey, baby, a nice sheep you got there. So I will keep an eye on the poll as it counts down. In the meantime, how did that roll go for Tromlin?
I rolled a 23. I told you.
And Morgan's throwing a D4 on it as well.
Yeah. I can roll that.
Yep. Just
That's
in
a
case
4.
So that breaks 25. That's crazy good. Yes, you managed to make it very convincing. You like immediately go, all right, I need to say something about want to make some money. Here's the thing that needs to happen.
Fast gold now.
Mm-hmm.
Are you tired of your silver game?
Hello, am Nigerian prince. Please.
Wait, are you royalty? What's the Sunshine family got going on?
Well,
There's got to be some royalty
Yeah.
in there somewhere. I mean, kind of.
kinda, yeah. Kind of in line
is
for the
crowned.
throne of Harsh.
He is crowned, and I'll bump my horn on him.
Indeed.
Nice.
I have some very, very one-sided voting here, but there is lots of cool options. So please keep them votes a coming. Although I imagine, as usual, people are waiting for near the end to.
As usual, I will
swing it.
bribe the chat with upcoming animations, which I've not released
Ooh.
yet.
They're
I've
very
been
cool.
working on
I've seen previews.
a
What
bunch
if
of like character intros.
what if all the things are good? What if there is no bad option?
Well,
How's
then
that
play
supposed to work?
favorites and make Morgan your favorite. But yeah, I have
Okay.
character animations for everyone except for Perny at the moment.
It's because he's
Excellent.
too flexible and fluid, so he's hard to
It's
animate
true.
because of how all his bones are young.
I'm working on the base image, and I'm thinking
Young.
that he's gonna have a book, and he's gonna be walking, and then he'll walk over a cliff because he's forgetting that
Yeah, he'll fucking
just
Mr.
keeps
McGee
going.
that
his
shit.
little feet
Oh,
will
yeah.
just run as
Yeah.
he like goes over.
Yeah, perfection.
Nice. So, right. So Tromlin has successfully sent the sending. and you will get the response because, of course, the person who receives it can respond within 20 words. And the response is slightly non-committal, but obviously interested. So something like, "I'll be watching for your messages." Um, presuming that you told him something about like Quaggles would
a
come
little
and
green
deliver him.
guy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yep.
some little green guy is going to bring a message.
Can I put a
So-
thong in the envelope? I think it'd be really funny.
Thong, thong.
Yeah.
The one that you're sending to your mom?
No.
'Cause that's where the
To
message you're writing
the
is.
Thieves Guild.
Going.
The Thieves Guild guy. I was
Thieves
thinking
Guild
of.
guy, you're just putting in touch with Pudenza.
Oh, P. Denzel will take care of that.
She may very
She'll
well
give him a
decide
thong.
to put underwear in the. She'll put something in something. We know that's a thing.
He does have
okay.
movies.
So you also have intention, I believe, to reach out to who else? Who else were you gonna? So that was everyone in Ravenfall connected with each other
Elgato?
and invitation sent.
I think so.
You've already spoken
cutting
directly to
Guzman.
Oogna, and you've made that that invitation has
Yeah.
occurred.
Were we gonna do
So
Elgato?
So I'll also have to wait for tomorrow because I think we used 2 of Tromlin's sendings for Gale and Lady Chilwyn. No, Lady Chilwyn we didn't have to send to because we're
That's
sending Fedor's
because you're
letter.
sending Fetid.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you've still got a sec. You've got one more sending spell from Tromlin today.
Yeah, so then I think Dungar Veldo today, and then tomorrow, if we can't get to Sir Godfrey through Darius, then we hit him up through
Okay.
Tromlin.
That works.
So what
I-
are you trying to? What are you going to communicate to Don Garveldo?
How do we feel about something along the lines of, because he's very like, I know he's very embroiled in local conflict, but as Don Garveldo, he also sort of has an eye on the international, and he seems to be working against sort of evil power and power structures. So I feel like just telling him sort of the forces of evil are marshaling themselves in east, west, north, and south. We require a coalition of those who would fight for the safety and freedom of this world. Will you join us at Sunshine Estate? Details. Can send teleportation circle coordinates if you are prepared to come. Something like that.
So the only question here is how are you going to send coordinates to him? And also how is it? So I think what we discussed last time is if you want Don Garfeldo to get there, you're going to have to find a teleportation circle to direct him to, like either get him to come up to Karsh, which is the nearest one you know of that the mages have access to.
He was in
or-
Santo Bianco, though, right? Like that was where his house is.
No. he
Okay,
was
because we
not.
know there's
You
a
had to
teleportation
travel.
circle there.
Oh yeah, we had to break into Santo Bianco.
Yeah.
You had to
it
travel to
was, like,
Santo Bianco. It was locked down because of the war. Because remember,
Right.
they were currently embroiled in skirmishes with the Dragonborn of
Right.
Nelmarzesh.
We could send him that request and also say, hey, do you know of any of these teleportation circles in the area we're trying to mobilize,
Yeah.
safety
Go find
forces?
you one.
Yeah, and then give him that day to look before we contact him the following.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting point. Are you contacting Don Garveldo or are you contacting El Gato?
I think El Gato.
I think I only know Elgato.
Yeah, you
I
weren't
only
with
met
the group
him-
when they met
Yeah.
Don Garveldo.
No.
And then when you all met Don Garveldo, saw Don Garveldo again at the ball in Ravenfall,
Right.
you didn't interact with him,
No.
but others did as Elgato. And I think you interacted with Elgato during the fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, you wouldn't even know. But it's mainly about Tromlin because he's the one casting the sending spell, and he has met both Don Garveldo persona and Elgato. My point was simply that if you were to contact, if I was Don Garvaldo and I got a contact out of the blue that was a sending spell, I certainly wouldn't be like, yes, actually, here's my secret identity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let El Gato know.
Because
Yeah.
anyone who's met Garvaldo can send him a sending,
Yeah.
right? Who
Yeah.
has the
I think
spell.
Elgato. I think Elgato.
Okay.
I know
I don't know,
who
Alina, if you want to put up
Elgato is based off of,
the
but
artwork.
I
Oh,
picture him more
we're about
as
to end we're about to end the poll, so this is your last chance, everybody. I'm seeing very few votes, so you've got a few seconds to get some other stuff and try and swing this.
I know who Elgato
A
is
few
based off of.
seconds. Final votes,
I picture him as Lupin the Third, though.
and it's too late.
Oh,
There you
there's
go. That's
there's Don
Garvaldo.
Garfeldo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Lupin the Third?
Okay.
Lupin the Third.
Thank you
And then
for your
there
votes,
is El
audience, and
Gato.
now we can get the players back into the chat.
Put all your twerking emotes to flood the chat. All twerk.
I'll twerk all the
I'll
time.
twerk and no play.
Nice.
I'm thinking of doing another twerking animation for Morgan now that I have
You can't have enough.
better
Like,
skills. Like,
she can have all the twerks.
I found the warp function in Procreate Dreams, and I had previously just used like export because I didn't realize it's buried within some of the drop down menus. So I will be a terror.
I saw the warp function used to make a really good candle. It was very
Yeah.
easy. It was like warp this way, warp
Oh.
that way on a flame.
Yeah. Opacity.
Yeah.
Opacity too. Super fun.
So, what are you
So-
actually going to say to Elgato?
So I think something close to what I said. Then, if we're cool with that, of like, dark forces marshaling in south, east, north, west. A coalition of heroes meeting at Sunshine Estate. We're Morwindle, right? Correct? Morwindle.
Find teleportation circle.
Yeah.
We'll contact tomorrow.
Yeah. Something
So
like that.
you know of two teleportation circles you could tell him about. So you could tell him, Santo Bianco, or you could tell him Karsh.
All right. What I will do is use that little bit of Alderacovian pirate swearing to get free words magic that we learned from our pal, and try and cram in a few extra words to give those details. But there's a bunch of like cod swallops and fuck buckets thrown in.
Yeah.
Alina, can you pull up the map of Ibisha? I can't remember if you have that. You must have that one. You had it before. Because if you can pull up that map, I can show you the locations. That's not the map of Ibisha, so it doesn't show all the locations. I'm taking it you don't have that map
I'm not
handy.
sure. Oh, no, I do. There we go. It's a different section.
It's just been a while since we
It's
put
been a
it
while
up.
since we used that one. Here we go.
Look at all these dancing butts came up on my screen. Yes, sorry, it wasn't Santo Bianco. It was Puerto Dorado, the capital. But it was in Santo Bianco is where you met Don Garvaldo.
Right.
Right.
And then we went up
Right.
the Rio de la Plata to the Silver Mountains. Is where we found that airship.
Correct. and then
All right,
you made your way.
Malafuerte and El Truco.
Yes.
Correct. And that is where you. I'm glad you remember those because they were very good jokes. But that is how you. That's where you got your cargo, and then you made your way to Puerto Dorado, where there was a teleportation circle. So what you would know is where he is, assuming he's at his estate in Santo Bianco. He is pretty nearly equidistant from Puerto Dorado and the city of Karsh. But the city of Karsh is where you know the wizards can absolutely make use of the teleportation circle. There's no kind of, we don't know who controls this teleportation circle.
Right.
So probably the easiest thing to do would be to, presuming the roads are open, because you'll remember because
That's
of
no
the
problem for
war.
El Gato.
Yeah, because of the war, you guys had to you get smuggled on a ship into Santo Bianco. But yeah, if he can come north to Karsh, you know that you can get him here. And in fact, you're about to go. You were about to talk to the maestro, and have
I think
him.
right help. Yeah, but I think our attempt to send to him failed. I think he succeeded at a saving throw basically, or we failed to beat the saving throw DC that he had set.
Yeah, I believe so. But that said, you know that Dan Galf can get word there, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
let's just
Okay.
say then you send your dark forces northeast, south, and west. A council of heroes gathering in Morwindle. Um, you need to get to Karsh, and the wizards will teleport you.
Yeah.
So you send you yeah, so Tromlin, you're reading this off of the sheet that Copernicus has given you, and a response comes that simply says, yeah, I think the response will simply say, "I will be there."
It was a
That's it.
very
I can imagine him
dramatic
posing
G.
heroically.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good.
So
Love it.
that uses up your sending spells for the day. And so you can also, though, potentially contact
Darius.
Darius because Lucretia was going to use her crystal ball.
Right.
So she has met Darius, so she will use her crystal ball. And once again, you see her wave her hands over this sphere, and in the crystal, you see the deck of a ship, of a huge, huge ship, lined with cannons, and standing firm on the quarterdeck is the bulky form of Captain Darius Sunshine, with his big grizzled beard and his heavy captain's coat. You can see that the ship is passing through some kind of slightly choppy, stormy waters. And Lucretia will say, "What do you want me to say to him?" Unlike Albania, he doesn't like look up and go, "Wait a second, am I being scryed on?"
I feel like he actually like sleeps posed resolutely at the helm of the ship, looking out at the sea. Like that's literally his sleeping default resting position.
Yeah, he's like holding the ship's wheel, but he's actually asleep.
Yeah.
No, this is midday too, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
By the
Definitely
way,
no risk,
it's
no danger.
it's always daytime everywhere in the world at the same time, right?
Right.
Because just like it's always colder when you go north and warmer when you go south,
Right.
it's daytime everywhere at the same time, and then nighttime everywhere at the same time.
Cool. Love it.
Convenient.
I
Because
think,
why
and
wouldn't it be?
I would address him as nephew, cousin.
I believe you called him nephew before.
Yeah. Nephew. The family in Morwindle is about to host, I think, a very important war council about the forces moving in this world. We could use your knowledge of what is happening in the cities of this world, your expertise in the art of war, and if you can bring Sir Godfrey, tell him that war is coming, and where there is war, there surely is room for a war profiteer or two. And we can give him first crack. But we need all the allies we can, desperately. And we would ask that you be there. A number of the members of the family will be coming.
He will say, Morwindle, is it? And how will I get myself to Morwindle? I'm in the South Seas at the moment, just off Nelmarzesh.
How are things down there right now?
Stormy. There's something fierce blowing in off the mountains of Loach Tal.
Do you sense that it is naturally occurring, or that something magical is happening?
I couldn't say. These storms, they move between magic and not magic with little... Wow, there are so many butts in my chat feed right now. It's just all butts.
Nothing but butts.
And nothing but butts and a big hot trash.
Morgan was really excited.
This is very on brand for our stream.
To be able to see herself on Sphere again, and is disappointed that it's not happening. So she started to twerk and then realized it wasn't going to happen. Was sad.
Yeah, he can't see it. He's only hearing the telepathy from the stone. Actually, I think I'm wrong. I think it was Albina had a telepathy option on her crystal ball. But whatever. I'll just say that Lucretia, you guys are speaking very briefly with Lucretia's sending spells. Lucretia will say to you, if he's sailing around Nelmarzesh, he may only be a couple days away from being able to make it to Karsh or Dwemerdel, and you have people teleporting from there.
Then I think we will suggest that he goes to, if all things are equal, I think Karsh would be best, because it's where we have a bit more of a firm foothold. People already going there, but wherever he can get to in that in our teleportation circle range would be great.
Keep an eye out in the middle of the ocean for the Tower of the Heart.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a tower in the center of the ocean.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for a tower in the center of the ocean, and also if you see Sir Godfrey, see if you can bring him along.
He will respond and say he will see if he can make Karsh within 2 days, but he may be late. He last left Sir Godfrey in the Southlands, because he also will try and do the 20-word thing.
Yep.
And I'll I guess I can't send anything back, but if I could, I would send a little like, oh, I guess if the sea is too powerful for you or whatever, then we'll expect you to be late, just to really egg them on.
Cool. And so for the rest of the day, this all is done by like lunchtime. Dangelf, of course, returns through the teleportation circle and brings you a number of formulae. Alina, if you want to actually, bring back the world map. I was just about to refer to it, but you swapped before I could do so.
Let's go.
Because I'm just going to go over what teleportation formulas he can give you. Okay, so he has formulas for many of the great cities, including all of the great cities of the north. So that includes, I'm just going to open up my...
Here, I've got the closer up version.
Well, but I don't want you to have to
Ravenfall,
jump back and forth. No,
Glimmerdale.
don't worry about it.
All right.
Because you'll have to jump back and forth. Just keep the world map up for the time being, and I'll go through the... Northlands. Where's Northlands? So he has circles for all. Sorry, not for all, but for the three northernmost cities of Nelmar Zesh, the Dragonborn cities. Actually, I'm going to say just two of them. Najazar and Talajin, which are the two metallic dragon cities, the golden and the silver. He also has, load more. All of the great cities of the north, which includes Dwimmerdell, Karsh itself, of course, Ravenfall, Northold, Rockspire, and Port Evermere.
Cool.
Okay.
That's a big help.
He has
And
a
then,
huge help.
in addition to that, he has a few other parts of the world. He has the circle at Parth Galadon in Elvenholm,
Ooh.
which is the one and only port that is accessible to outsiders in the Elven homeland. Where are we here? Otherwise known as Eldamar. So that's the City of Light. Sorry, that's not the City of Light. That's the actual Elven city, Parth Galadost. Right, Parth Galadon is the port city. I got it right. I was just getting them backwards. He has a couple in Ibisha, including one in Puerto Dorado, which is not the one you guys used.
Ooh.
Because it's the one at the Wizard's Tower there. And
Oh,
you
of
guys
course.
were
Yeah.
not in a Wizard's Tower. You were in some hidden warehouse. So you're like, oh. Oh, I missed one of the cities of the north. He has the one for Direwind as well.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yep.
Direwind might come up soon.
Yep. And then he has one for the Temple of Throm in the Freehold of Throm, which is the great monastery there. And where's my list of the Southlands? Lastly,
I wish we could have told them to look out for a black tower in the sea. Forgot about that.
you guys already told him about that prophecy some time ago.
When we were in person.
Yeah, in person.
And we're like, is there a tower in the middle of the ocean? And he was like, what are you talking about? That's really deep. Maybe keep an eye out for it. Who knows? Maybe there's something there now.
He has also a circle with the Citadel of Bronze, which is the capital of the Wahadi Empire in the southern desert.
Cool. So which one was that?
The Citadel of Bronze in the Wahadi Empire.
Sweet.
Nice.
Just double checking that is correct. Yes, it is.
It's that part where we open up more of the game map.
Yep. And he has a couple in the jungles of Zaru, specifically and unsurprisingly in the city of Al-Felicia itself, which is the great trade port of the Loxodons. And honestly, that's probably the only one they've got in, because most of the other cities in Zaru are mobile. Oh yeah, he'll actually, sorry, Felicia and Gaharia, the two main cities of
the city of Hey Felicia.
Yep. It's Al Felicia, thank you very much. Yeah. He does not have any in the Confederacy of Loaktal or in the deeper jungles in Zaru. And then I think I think I said he had a handful in in Ibiza, the Ibizan Empire. But I only mentioned the one city, Puerto Dorado. He would probably also have ones in Puerto Monitas in the south, which is the second largest city. He would definitely have. And I will say he also has one in Las Sombras, a city of shadows, which is on the mountains overlooking the desert. Which I'm
Was
there
saying
was
he has just because it's a cool name.
What was the one?
What's that?
What was the one you said before Las Sombras?
Puerto Monedas.
Porto Monedas.
Port money.
I would say that merfolk
I mean,
are
it's like,
probably very good
have
at
you
building towers. It's
have
one
you
of the
seen
better
a
structures in water.
have you seen a theme here? Puerto
The
Dorado, Puerto
Crystal
Monedas,
Port.
Santa Bianco. Yeah,
My
on
hinge score is
the
too low for
Silver
that one.
River.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The port of gold, the port of money, the river of silver.
It's like it's a very rich empire.
Yeah, it's kind of their thing.
El Dorado.
And actually, Alina, if you pull up the Ibiza Empire or the Ibizan Empire map
Yep.
again,
Here
quite
we
a few
are.
of those cities are on it, so why not? So if
Santa
you look at that
Bianco.
map, you can see Puerto Dorado, the biggest city over there on the left. On the south at the bottom, next to the Great Inner Sea, you can see Puerto Monedas. I
Raven
don't know if
Pico was
you
just
can
trying to
see.
ban you. He was
Of
gonna
course.
ban
What?
user. Pico is like, no, you're not allowed.
Did Pico like click one of the ban
Yeah, he
buttons or
sure did.
something? That's funny.
I had to cancel it before it
Jealous
went
of my
through.
baby bells.
You're like, no, don't ban people, Pico. And you can see in the upper right, you can see Las Sombras on the edge of the deserts. And I don't know if you can drag that whole image to the left. But if you can, you might be able to show.
What you
Sorry,
looking
the
for?
other
The
way.
other way. Yeah, this way?
Yeah, yeah. I want to see if we can get the free port of Throm on there because it's in the bottom
It's
corner. Yeah, it's just barely visible in the bottom
no,
corner.
no, I can't.
Well, you had it on screen. You just didn't have the name on it. That's okay. It's all good.
Okay, I lost the window. Where is it now?
No lost windows.
Now we're back in Mud Hollow.
Now we're in Mud Hollow again.
Aibisha.
And of course, I didn't say that one, but obviously he has a circle for Mud Hollow because that's where he lives.
Yes, that's where his stuff is.
Yep. And as you know, the Wizard's Veil.
Yeah. Amazing. Well,
There it is,
I've
free
got
port
the
of
list.
Throm, just at the edge, over here.
Yep, you can see it there. The free port of Throm. On this little peninsula. And the free port of Throm, despite being right between two massive empires, because that's between the Wahadi Empire in the desert and the Ibizan Empire.
If we need to get into the desert of Ix, Las Sombras is a good path to Solus.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, Sand's Edge is there too, is that other village at the lower down on the map. But those are trading villages that lead out to the Wahadi Empire. The Wahadi Empire is all made up of oases that are
Ridiculous.
largely managed by elemental plane connections. Everyone deserves a gigantic sloth head, just in case you didn't know
That's
that.
true.
Perfect.
Okay, so for the
It's like
rest of the day,
third
Copernicus,
image.
Tromlin, and even Oogna, but also Morgan, because then I mentioned everyone. There's a whole library here, and there's like a list of stuff to research. Tromlin, you had managed to find a book of folktales and learned a bunch about this legend of Baba Yaga having this egg-shaped rock called the Clue stolen away by the trickster. And you've also found some folktales mentioning this entity called Cochet. At least one of the folktales referred to him as, Cochet the Deathless, or Cochet the Immortal, and you now suspect that the sorcerer Lord Cash is in fact this entity. Now that you know all of that, you could certainly research more on this matter. Copernicus, you had a whole laundry list of things that you wanted to research.
Yeah, I'm just updating my notes on Cash with the new stuff you mentioned.
Indeed.
I will definitely do some more research on this because why not?
I will provide
Indeed.
snacks.
Yeah, this is all out of
Trey.
character because
Try
you haven't told us about it yet, but last game I remember it sounded like this might be the lake where the clue was. Because there was that story about the fox like dropping an orb into a bottomless lake.
Yep.
Maybe here?
You also happen to be aware that there is like connections to the Underdark under this lake. So a bottomless lake might very well
Lead to the Underdark.
be such a
Started
thing.
by a dickhead who tried to kill us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But who also seems to have the clue.
It's super useful that we still have our Durgar friend with us then. Maybe he can be like a guide.
Yeah. Zaxxas, is that what it was?
Zaxxas.
Zaxxas will come into the room with
Yeah.
like a bowl of snacks and say, Zaxxas
Snaxis?
got bored. Zaxxas got bored with made snacks.
Oh,
Here
Zaxxas,
is
you're the
snacks.
best. Oh my god, thank you. Oogna's like been staring at the same page of the same book for about an hour.
Yep. Still holding it upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Zaxxas is like, many, many books. Too many words.
It's like Oogna used all of her brain power to figure out the rune magic, and now she's more of a detriment than a help. There's nothing left.
Nobody
Thank you,
need this many words.
Right? So many words.
Could not say this many words in lifetime. So why?
Oh,
Why have
hey
words?
guys!
Too many.
Guys, check this out! And she'll hold up a book and it just has like a diagram of someone's ass, but like a magical diagram.
It's like an anatomy. It's like a
Mhm.
Grey's Anatomy.
But just for
You're like,
asses.
check out. Look at this. This is what your ass looks
Brown's
like on the
anatomy.
inside.
Is this relevant?
Yep.
Always relevant. Always relevant.
Guys, this is what a loxodon penis looks like.
Exactly.
God.
I've always wondered.
I'm just looking up curse words, but
Yeah.
like actual curses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that raven folk have a cloaca? They don't have external genitalia at all. It's crazy.
I tell you
You
what,
don't want to
I'm
hear
afraid of
about
that.
duck folk, though.
I'm afraid of that turtle guy that we met after seeing this book.
What?
He was like a
What does it look
cyborg.
like?
He's got like some kind of cyber cock. It's dangerous.
Hopefully not
Like
one
a
that looks like a
ramrod.
fucking flower. I just found out about
Oh, you didn't
turtle,
meet him.
tortoise.
You didn't
Yeah.
actually meet. You didn't actually meet Araxti.
Okay.
Because he was all like Inspector Gadget, like he had like all kinds of limbs coming out of his armor. So
I just see his art in the thing when I'm looking for references all the
Yep.
time.
go Gadget vibrator.
Mhm.
So let's talk about research priorities. What do you want to know?
So I think the three topics that we narrowed down to last time were rune magic, which I think kind of yielded the result of the rune that we found that we could transfer to the armor. And then specifically Oogna's mom's sword, I think both its connections to rune magic, but also just its provenance and what's happened with it and anything we can figure out about that. And then the great towers, so the great towers of the world and how I think they might connect to the prophecy, the sword, etc. were the things that we had listed out. But also
there was
Tromlin's
yeah.
quest can be on there, and
Well, obviously Tromlin is the only one who knows about Tromlin's quest, so
Yeah.
you aren't researching that.
We can't help.
But Tromlin being sort of under the radar on this, because like no one's thinking of Tromlin as being the researcher. It kind of gives him a little bit of leeway while Copernicus is doing research. And Morgan is likely, I think Morgan would be the most likely person helping him, because between guidance and the fact that Morgan also has a very high arcana.
Yeah.
Like Morgan's got the second highest arcana score in the group at 6.
I'd be knowing stuff, just not book stuff.
I mean,
And then you go and like
Arcana-
perfectly recite a bunch of amazingly deep book stuff.
Yeah.
Just
No, that's stuff I
more
learned in the field.
yeah, more Fey oriented.
You just
But
know
what
a
I'm
lot about the
saying is
Fae for some reason.
I can see Tromlin kind of being able to kind of wander off and look at books on his own without anyone kind of looking over his shoulder
Mhm.
if he wants to do further research. So let's start with Tromlin then. Actually,
Mhm.
what else? What's more? What do you want to look into specifically? You now have like some of these names from folktale.
Yeah, let me my document up real quick. Let's see. There's Lord Cash as a sorcerer.
So you could look
There's
into
also
more
possibly Kosh the
stories of
Death.
Kashe. Yeah, so
Kashe,
you think it's the same guy. So we had that
Yeah.
roll last time. You kind of were like, this seems suspiciously like it's the same guy.
So I might want to research him. I might want to research Kumalis.
Mm-hmm. So Kumalis is the trickster fox type
Yeah.
spirit who stole
That stole
the
the egg in the
clue.
first place.
Yeah, do you want to know more about the clue itself or find any stories about the clue
Yeah, that's
itself?
probably a good idea to do.
Okay. Where shall we start? Do you want to look for more stories about Koshé the Deathless, more stories about the clue, or about the trickster?
I say in order of importance to be Clue, Koshé, Trickster.
So let's start with the clue then. Give me an Arcana check, and obviously
shit.
you're not super great at this, but I'm trying to remember where we kind of landed on bonuses because you had a bit of advantage from the fact that you were using the comprehend languages spell, and
Which I
that
would
you
do again.
have
Because
and you've got the linguist ability as well. Um,
Morgan's gonna give him a guidance. I'll roll it.
well, you can't
Um,
because you don't know he's doing this.
oh, I was
He's
gonna.
being
yeah, I'm
very
not telling anyone
What?
about this.
Oh, but you can give
'Cause I don't
yourself
like.
guidance.
Okay, I'll give myself guidance.
Ask
Yeah,
your
I
gods.
forgot you have guidance too.
I was
So yeah,
thinking
you
it
can
would be
give yourself a bonus.
Morgan going, "Come on, give us the books we're looking for," and then just like going around fingering stuff, ha ha ha, and
Well,
just being like, "You should look at this book, and you should look at this book," and that'll be like how
in
I get it into
fact,
people.
guidance gives somebody a bonus on like their next roll, so that you don't even necessarily. You could give someone guidance and go, "You can do it," and then they could go and do something completely not what you intended. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
But that said, Tromlin can do his own guidance, and therefore he can thoroughly
Oh.
surreptitiously do this. So go ahead and make the Arcana check. Um, I'm going to give you a +2 for the language bonus advantage, and then you can also have the +1d4. So you've got a
Okay.
+3 total, and then guidance can give you a +1d4 as well.
Okay, so right now I am at an 18 plus
Nice.
Nice.
30, 20.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
Very nice.
20 was a threshold I was looking for, so that's actually a good one to be at. So you find some stories about the clue. So now that you kind of know that a bunch of these particular Eastern folktales use the term Baba Yaga to refer to the Raven Queen, you know you're looking for stories about Baba Yaga. And there are stories. There are stories of the Raven Queen's eye that blend in with like sort of almost the Greek type myths of like the fates that have the eye that can see the future, and you realize that these equate, and that one of the thing that you're sort of looking at here is this the clue, which is described variously as an egg, as a stone, and as an eye, seems to be a thing that is meant for scrying. And you recall what you were told by the Raven Queen in your vision, which was, I mean, vision, or maybe you were actually physically in the Feywild during your dream. Hard to say, but you remember that she told you that on this quest you must not mention um, the name of Cochet, the one who has the clue, or the clue itself, or he
Yeah.
will know. And you realize from reading the stories, there are all kinds of tales of like when people speak the name, she appears, right? There's lots of tales about like Baba Yaga appearing because people said her name 3 times, and Baba Yaga knowing what her enemies are doing, and it occurs to you that depending on how true this is, when Baron Morwen, Baron Marin, I should say, um,
Oh.
mentioned Lord Cash, it is possible that that moment would have allowed Cache to scry on you guys.
Great.
So it is possible that at least, I mean, obviously that was hours ago, but the very next thing that happened was continued conversation between um, Lucretia and Copernicus about the plans for this war council. Now, that said, you made the Baron leave the room. So before you started talking about the war council, Perny insisted that Lucretia speak with you guys alone, and the Baron left. So it's the Baron's the one who said the name.
Good
You're like
foresight.
racking your brain trying to
Yeah.
remember if anyone else said anything about it, but you only remember the Baron specifically saying the name Lord Cash. Copernicus.
Question. For my, I'm thinking. I wouldn't say while I'm thinking about it. I'm not allowed to tell anyone about my mission per se, like the specific thing I'm doing.
It wasn't that you're not allowed to, like the Raven Queen didn't say you can't tell anyone you're doing this. She just said,
Let's say,
don't speak of. She told you about the clue. She told you about Cache, who holds it, and she said, don't speak of this or he will know. And now that you're reading the stories about the clue, that seems to be because it's a power of the clue. So it's not like the Raven Queen said, you are forbidden to tell anyone because I don't like it. It
yeah.
sounds like she was saying, don't talk about this because you will fail. Because if you talk about, hey, I'm going to go steal the clue from Kashi the Deathless, then he will immediately know that you're coming to steal the clue from him.
All right.
That's
That's what I need to know because that's going to affect
your
what I do
interpretation.
after I research.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, you were saying?
Yeah, so you remember the Baron saying his name, and you kind of go, I wonder if that means that he was able to scry on that moment, or able to, like, according to what the stories are saying, the clue is like a seeing stone, like it's like an eye, so it could see and perceive around itself. That said, or around, one who has named it and one who has named the bearer. But that said, when the Baron mentioned that name, the conversation was still pretty guarded. You guys, we're talking about what are we going to do about that guy across the lake? It's bad. Like all the things that are kind of obvious. We just fought that horrible slime monster, and maybe he can summon another one. It's bad. But then after the Baron left is when you started talking about we're going to have a war council. We're going to like reach out to these family members. All the things that are more specific. That said, Perny and the others, certainly Perny, now knows the name of that, what you guys were referring to as the Marin Sorcerer. So you don't know how likely Perny is to mention that name at some point.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I need to have
Yeah.
a talk with them about this. That's why I was making sure that I wasn't get like piss the Raven Queen off more by warning people in
Yeah.
writing.
Specifically, the Raven Queen didn't want you, and your son didn't want you to tell anybody about him, about the fact that your son is like with you at all times. But that was before. That wasn't even part of this quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, this quest is the first favor the Raven Queen is calling in, and it's specifically Little Thief. She wants you to steal the clue. but the warning not to speak of it seems to be specific to this power that it has. Or
And
at
she
least
said
that's
speak
your interpretation.
specifically, right?
She said, yeah, she said, do not speak of this specifically, or he will know. So
But
now that
Pertinet,
you've done this
maybe?
research, you're going, okay, it's because of the clue. He's got the
Yeah.
clue. And if you say Kashi the Deathless or whatever other name he might go by, or if you say the clue, he's gonna go like, ding, notification, someone's talking about you, or however this thing works.
You gotta load up the clue. It's got like 50 notifications. You're like, ah, damn it.
Yeah. It's all these people talking
Most of
about
them are
God
like
damn it.
spam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
we
some
just
point,
bury
for a
those
job?
coattails.
at some point, we could flood his notifications intentionally. Get a bunch of people in on all at once, suddenly saying a bunch of things about him out loud.
Get
I
people
don't know.
talking
That's a
the
good
story.
idea.
But yeah, so that's one of the things that you learn with your research. You also from the stories that you find. So you rolled a 20. So I'm going to give you that was the 20 thing, but I'm going to give you the 15 stuff as well,
Okay.
which is that it is about a little larger than a human head. It's quite a large object, like it's this great big egg, so like bigger than an ostrich's egg. It is indestructible as well. There's lots of stories about someone trying to put out Baba Yaga's eye or destroy the seeing stone or whatever it says in that particular story, and like breaking a sword on it. It seems to be from the stories indestructible, which is why when it was stolen and lost, it could have it wasn't like given up forever. Last time you found the story of the trickster stealing it and then losing it in the lake. You don't find any others. There's several other versions of that story, but there don't seem to be any other stories of it. So like whatever happened to it when it was lost, it stayed lost until recently.
Maybe this guy
there's
found
no-
it.
Maybe this
Well,
guy
that-
who summoned a monster out of the lake, deep in the
Yeah.
lake.
I would like to
That's
put
what I'm
towards
thinking.
the chat and the party to brainstorm when we can eventually launch it, but exactly what kind of malicious viral campaign that we want to put upon this person's name.
Yeah.
That is obviously going to be very embarrassing and annoying.
Yeah.
And would make people talk shit about him more.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be brewing on that for a while. That's going to be one of my research projects.
And then you also kind of like, just from a more arcana technical perspective, it sounds like this is like a pretty advanced seeing stone that includes, all of like the sound and sight and, there is a little bit of hint that there's insight as well. Like Baba Yaga, there are stories of Baba Yaga being able to like see into the souls of those that come to her and that she ends up baking in a pie or whatever. So there's probably some degree of like detect thoughts kind of magic associated with this thing as well. And that's everything you get at a 20, which is pretty good. So the next one you were going to dig into was Kashe the Deathless.
Yes.
So let's get a roll on that.
Oh, sorry. Let's see. Do I have any inspiration left?
I don't know. Alina?
Looks like you've got 2.
Oh yeah,
I
you've
would
got
like
more
to
than
spend
anybody.
1,
Yeah.
because I just rolled a 2 naturally, and I don't think that's
Oof.
going to help. That, however, is a natural 20.
Sweet.
Very nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
20, sure, and I'm rolling my guidance because why the hell not?
I mean, you might hit a 15 or a 15, a 25.
See, well, I rolled a natural 20 plus the 3. It was 23. I rolled a 27.
Nice.
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
So you are definitely breaking the 25 points. This is going to give you quite a bit. So, Cochet or Cache, you'll find both, multiple different spellings, generally referred to as the immortal or the deathless, is in a whole bunch of different stories. A bunch of those stories are about his deathlessness, right? Like there's a classic tale that you find immediately of how he has hidden his heart inside of a needle,
One of those
or sorry, his
situations.
heart. He's hidden his death inside of like a needle hidden inside an egg, which is inside a duck,
A
which is
whale,
inside
an
a
Yeah.
island
hare.
surrounded by fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is buried on an island. Exactly. There's a bunch of tales like that. Other tales simply suggest that he has bargained with death, or that he beat death in a game and made death angry, and death will not come for him. And so he wanders deathless forever. Um, there's a number of versions of that. Tales that talk about him being um, a slave who made his deal with death, or who made or agreed to play a game of chance with death, and in various ways made death angry, and so death won't come for him. A lot of this kind of this old time stories. Um, uh, and in fact, there is still some folk tales about tribes in the desert who wear amulets that are shaped like an egg, which are supposed, or sorry, shaped like a needle through an egg, which are supposed to be um, uh, like life protecting spells
Hmm.
uh, for them. And in fact, uh, with that nat 20 and bonuses, I'll even say there are variant material components for um, what's the spell? Copernicus casts it all the time. Death Ward. Um, Variant material components for Death Ward include the amulet with the symbol of the needle in the egg,
Interesting.
which is, or even physically a needle pushed into an egg. Um, and that seems to have its origin in these stories of Cochet. So this is not like, this is a very old um, creature. That these stories go far back in the East. You find a whole lot of different spellings of the name, including Kosh, Kish, Cochet, Cache,
What
and so on.
with that kind of imagery would a spell regarding lifelessness possibly include sterilization? Since a needle through an egg is often to take out
Yeah,
the the component within the egg. So it would be removing the possibility of life.
that might in fact be the link, but yeah, it's in any case, it's clearly an old. Uh, um, these are old stories. Um, you get the impression that these stories that are particularly Eastern, like they come from the desert. Um, some of them are some of this is in, like, you've got your comprehend languages going, but some of this is in Wahadi. Uh, some of this is are tales of the Ravagers, but these are all different desert groups, right? The Wahadi are southern desert, the Ravagers are eastern desert. Um, there are tales. One of the books you find with tales comes from Direwind, um, etc. Let's see, what else am I going to give you here? As Lane just browses the Wikipedia page of the actual real Russian folktales that I'm
Sorry.
stealing this
Aw,
all from.
that's a pin feather.
Um, lots of tales of his magic, and he's clearly some kind of wizard or sorcerer because there's a lot of stories about magical sleep that he can send people into. There's a story in which he has eyelids so heavy he requires servants to lift them. That seems a little less relevant here.
I mean, there's lid tape now, but he might not have a beautician on hand.
I'm worried this dude is gonna be a lich, and we got a big lich fight.
He is
like
said to
putting
ride a magical
putting your
steed.
death in a needle.
Yeah, he is said to ride a magical steed, which you have literally seen through the eyepiece. The magical steed is said to be a five-legged horse. Nobody noticed that whether the spectral mount had an odd number of legs, but no one was really
Hard thing
looking
to
for
see
it.
through a telescope.
Yeah, there are quite a few tales in which Baba Yaga does appear. So the general rule with these folktales seems to be that Baba Yaga and Koshchei don't both appear in the same stories. But there are some of the oldest tales that say that they are siblings.
Oh, yikes.
Others say that they are a married couple. And sometimes Baba Yaga is like a matronly, like a mother or an aunt kind of a figure to
Some
Koshchei.
people's traditions.
Uh-huh. Um, let's see what else is relevant here. I think that's probably most of the relevant stuff. I guess just other things about magic. He's said to have quite a few magical items. There are a number of stories about people trying to steal from him, like a ring or a cloak. He said to have a magical cloak. But in particular, the oldest tales all link him to the desert, that he like came from the desert. And I mentioned this story that he was a slave who made his deal with death, or who made his wronged death in some way and got in the state that he's in. So there are definitely links here to the deeps of the deserts, the lands where no one goes and no one lives. Sound good?
That sounds good. I think at this point I would probably decide I need to talk to Perny and grandma.
Sounds good. Let's jump first back to Copernicus. And I just want to know, because we're going to take a break here before we do that conversation. And I just want to know what your top priority research for the day is, because I'll get a roll from you and then I can think about it during our break.
Sure, I think that's going to be Oogna's mom's sword as the primary focus, and I think the individual things that I'm trying to learn
What do
more
you?
about.
So what do you want to know about the sword? Because you've already interpreted all the runes on it.
So I think that next I'm going to be studying the towers specifically, but I think connections to the towers, connections to Glorpa's visions, connections to any prophecies involving the tower at the center of the sea.
Let's start with the towers and the prophecies first, then, because then you can look into links with the sword.
Okay.
So let's get an Arcana check here, and you're actually getting aid from Morgan, so you can roll this with advantage, and you'll have the guidance.
Just, you don't have to
If
be
you want to roll the
secretive about
guidance
this.
for me, Raven.
Because Morgan is openly supporting you on this.
Yeah.
3.
Okay. 7 on the die for the first roll.
Zaxis will cheer you on. He's helping too. He will come by every once in a while with a mouthful of snacks and say, "You are doing good job. Way to read the book."
Thank you, Zaxis. So I got a 3 and a 7 on the dice, but the 7 still turns into a 10 with the 3 into a 20, dirty 20 with the plus 10 modifier.
Nice.
Okay, 30, 20, not too bad.
And I could try and historian myself for a little more.
The maximum that's going to give you those +3, right?
Yeah, so no new thresholds there.
Yeah, it's still going to be 20.
My luck abilities,
Oh,
do they extend
Well,
for other people?
They can in certain circumstances, such as wild magic luck. So wild magic luck, negotiate with wild magic effects for rerolls. So I will let you reroll this for Copernicus. In fact, you know what? I'm willing to go to reroll with a minimum 10 on the die.
Ooh.
But you roll 3 times on the wild magic chart and I get to pick.
I
We're
want
at a dirty
everyone out of the
20.
library. I want everyone out of the library before this happens.
Well, they
Maybe
are all in
you
kind of
should
different places. Like you can easily
go out of the library because, like, if you set on fire, we're gonna burn the whole
Yeah,
library
you
down.
could fireball the room.
I could accidentally fireball.
Maybe you should go outside.
I don't know that.
I'll tell you what.
Role playing wise, that works.
I will modify this my offer that I'm going to choose the one of the 3, but because of your merit, I will nix any roll that does like area effect damage.
Okay.
Unless it's just 2 people, but I won't let you destroy the library with this roll.
I don't think I would ever recover from destroying someone's
It's
library.
very us to accidentally destroy Pernie's main library.
When we worked so hard to get to it, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I need 3 percentile rolls.
All right.
I mean, you might only roll good things. Like,
Maybe.
It's possible.
All right. The clearer one is the high number.
You permanently polymorph
That's
into a
75.
silver dragon.
Sorry, say again.
75 for the first one.
Okay.
68 for the second one. 21 for the third.
Ooh.
I like that.
And that could I actually was thinking of
What's that?
I just realized I could silvery barbs Pernie on his good roll.
Not
No?
you can only
I think
you can only force a reroll on a successful
save. I think. Is it with check or
wasn't
save?
his better successful skill check be
Oh,
I get silvery barbs?
Right, because it technically, if you can do it on a check as well as on a
checking.
Says
an ability check.
Yeah.
So I think silvery barbs me.
I think I'll silvery barbs as well.
Okay, let's do the reaction first then.
Yeah.
Okay, so
forcing a reroll, and this is you must take the reroll.
Yeah.
So I've not been rolling well. So Raven, I'm gonna show you all of my dice. You have to tell me which one's gonna be lucky for me.
All right.
Give me a sec here. This is not all of my dice, but these are the ones that I had handiest. All right, we have got this kind of reddy, sea bluey, shiny acrylic one.
Okay, that's pretty
This
nice.
this is the one that's not been doing well right now. This is the one I used at our Gen Con live show.
Yeah.
This is kind of a green and blue. It's a wedding gift. This one is just a fabulous cloudy pink.
Yeah, I think I've already made my choice. I think the wedding gift one.
Okay.
That seems like good luck. Yeah.
It's love related. So
yeah.
All right, let's see what happens.
Come on. It's better. It's a 9, which gets us to a 22, which would get us within historian distance of a 25.
Roll for your historian.
Lane said
first.
minimum of 10, so that bumps it up from 9 to 10.
Yep.
Okay. So the historian can get us to 26.
But I was offering a reroll with a minimum of 10.
Right.
Which means it can't be worse, but it could be better.
Yeah.
But I can
So
still
go ahead.
silvery barbs.
Oh yeah, but wait,
roll for your historian.
Okay.
just to see if you do have a +3 on this. That's
Yep. 3 on the
Nope.
die gets me to a 13 for historian. 3 on the
So-
die.
Silvery barbs and you reroll with advantage
Oh.
because I give you the bonus.
yeah.
Okay.
Give you the
All right.
advantage in the roll. So, oh no, sorry. Yeah, you don't need a silver barbs again. You just roll the advantage. You get advantage
Yeah.
on the next roll, which is the
Yeah.
historian roll.
Yeah.
So just go ahead and roll that advantage
Okay.
because of the silvery barbs. Is
And I don't get advantage on the reroll that I'm making because of the silvery barbs? Because that's
No.
technically the next roll that I'm making.
no, because the historian check should be first. So that is
Okay.
technically the one you're making.
Nope. 3 again. 3 on the die.
Wow, you're just
Yep.
like in.
Yeah, it's been
in,
two weeks of dog shit rolls there. The last
Yep.
2. Yeah.
Rugged.
Oof.
Oh, actually, though, I will give you. You could pretend. You only need +2 to make that, right? So Raven, roll your guidance. If you're just giving him guidance over and over on all this stuff.
Raven's
you
just
give
doing
him
all the
guidance.
work. Here's Morgan's doing all the
Oh,
work
I got
at
a
this
3.
point.
I got a 3.
So that makes your historian check then, right? Because that's
Alright.
13 plus 3 is
Yeah.
16.
My
And
goodness.
it's a
Now that we're-
threshold of 15.
We are
Just
building this
scooching.
25 just as a house of cards, and every card is coming from Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, so now you've made it to a 25,
Yeah.
but the deal is still on the table here. So you're gonna go for the wild magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which dice am I rolling? Am I sticking with love? Am I switching over
Love,
to
love always.
staying with love? All right. And would this reroll, because I had the help action, still have the advantage on it?
Nope, it's just a straight reroll. Just roll another die.
Okay.
Same turn, so I wouldn't get another silvery barbs, right?
Correct. This is just a
And-
straight up.
And this is the
One
one that
more
has to be
thing.
better than 10, correct?
This one, the 10 is the default. If you roll anything under 10, it's a 10.
Okay.
You're
So
gonna
it's a
get
10.
a 17 or above.
No,
So
I rolled a 5. Oh, I see, yeah.
You're still gonna
Yeah.
get what you got before.
Okay. So, or sorry, okay, great. So,
Did you roll?
I rolled a 5 on the die, which would get us
Okay.
to a 15 plus, yeah.
but
so-
it's a 10 because you rolled a 5 on the die, so it
Yeah,
becomes a 10.
Yeah, which gets us a 20, which gets us a 26 again because
Yeah.
of historian and
The historian and the guidance.
guidance.
Correct. Okay, Morgan,
Mm-hmm.
the wild magic effect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really torn because there's 2 good ones.
Mm-hmm.
One of them I'm not going to do, which would you just suddenly become made of stone for like a period of time, which would be weird but not particularly.
I think Morgan would be fine with being
as long
stoned,
lasting.
but yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly,
It's a
which is
little
why I'm not
annoying for
picking that
game
one.
wise, yeah.
The other 2 are a permanent change effect, which is always fun,
Ooh.
or a social one that would be quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna ask for. I'm still making the call, but I'd like some
Mhm.
feedback out of character from you guys.
Okay.
Because one of the ones you rolled is your hair turns bright pink. Period. Permanent. End of discussion. And so that would just be that's
good
your
look.
look now, right?
Yeah.
Pink hair. Until
We
something else
match.
potentially changes it.
Yeah.
God knows how long away. Or if you like use illusions or something because you're like, I don't want my hair to be pink. Second option is that you perceive that a creature near you has said something hurtful to you, and that like not like in a that a magic thing happened, but like you actually believe that you have been said something really got to you.
Really good for story. Those are both
Yeah.
good. Those are
Oh,
both
no.
good.
Weirdly it gives you the fear effect against that person for a turn, which is irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. The hurtful thing is the fun part. So what does everybody think? One
I
of these
mean,
is like
so many
social relationships.
You
which
know-
has very
Yeah.
very.
You know which
Yeah.
one would
The
be
other one's
mine
permanent.
because you played with me in LARPs. You know that I love the pain.
Yeah.
But also, if you had pink hair,
Do
then
you have
we'd match.
something on lock? Well, aesthetically, I don't mind like dealing with Pink Morgan, and realistically, I mean,
Is it
Except for
all
Dragon
her?
Maid.
Is it all her fur at that
is
point?
it
then?
all my fur? That's a question.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think that sold it for me. Actually, I think
Yeah.
I'm going with the hurtful.
Yeah.
So I'm going to randomize.
I shouldn't
if
have
it
asked
came
about
from,
pink fire crotch.
I'm gonna
I still-
randomize whether this
Okay.
hurtful thing comes from Perny or Oogna.
It should
Oh
be.
no! Oh
It
no! No!
should be
No!
me.
I don't want it to be either.
It should be
We are
me.
all on rocky footing.
Yeah, we
and
sure
we're
are.
pretty
I'm
lucky
doing
that I
great. What are
am
you
a
talking about?
satyr. I'm glad
What are
I'm
you
a
talking about?
satyr
I'm
and
not-
can manage these fucking cliffs that we're on emotionally together.
It's Oogna.
Of course it is.
Great.
Good,
Great.
good, perfect. Good.
Great.
If it wasn't me, I was going to be like, can I do the opposite of a black token? To take the bad thing?
So let's take a break.
And
If
then I'll
you
come
wanna
back and
think
say
about
some
what
hurtful
hurtful thing
things
Oogna
that
says.
is completely
Yeah.
innocuous.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
What's
we'll
the
be
worst
back
thing
in
someone
about
could
10
tell
minutes.
I'm excited to find out. I'm excited and horrified to find out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is
All right.
great. Everything's going great.
We will see you all in 10.